Welcome to another episode of the Fanzone podcast, your home for all things Bolton Wanderers, up the Trotters, the Northwest's #1 podcast.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Fanzone podcast. This is episode 71 of the preview show, of course, ahead of this weekend's game against Stockport County. New look, Fanzone pod, new design, new sponsor. And of course, you'll see the sponsor for this coming season's preview show is B2B. B2B Workwear, of course. So that is a proud sponsor of the Fanzone podcast for your kind of reliable and trustworthy supplier of workwear, PPE and janitorial products. So be sure to head over to the website to learn more. Of course, Wanderers fans, I'm sure you're going to be very familiar with B2B, given the fact that they've got a strong association with the football club. And of course, we are very proud to have them as a sponsor for the new season. Of course, tonight we are joined by Lauren. Lauren, how are you?
I am very good, thank you. Thank you for having me on. I'm tired from a long day of work, but football always, brings back the energy. So looking forward to the pod.
Yeah, absolutely. Very much a pilot episode for the new season, this guy. So I know there's plenty of you in the chat already. Feel free to get your comments in the chat as you would do normally. Usually, as I'm sure you're all aware for the regulars in here, that we do kind of segmented preview shows, but we'll put it out to the floor. We want to understand what you want the preview show to look like for the upcoming season. Obviously, me and Lauren have got a bit of a structure to what we want to talk about. And of course, hopefully you'll enjoy that. But moving forward, we're going to keen together get your thoughts as we progress through the season. So yeah, get it in the chat. Get any ideas that you might have. Obviously, I'll report that back to the team and yeah, we'll get going for the new season. So Lauren, tell us a little bit about last season. Obviously, you guys finished third in what was a very, I'd say, successful League One campaign for you. Securing the playoffs, of course, and losing to Leyton Orient in the semi-finals rather narrowly. How does last season compare to what you guys had in mind before the season started? And kind of what are your expectations going into this season?
I think going into last season, we were, I wouldn't even say quietly confident. Like, I think we all expected to be pretty high up, expected to do quite well. Some people might say that I'm optimistic. I would say as a fan, I'm usually quite pessimistic. So I thought we would do a little bit worse than we did actually, but obviously was pleasantly surprised, which then did mean that my heart got completely and utterly broken when we lost in the playoffs. And I won't dwell on it too much because I might start crying on the podcast again, which is never a good thing. Nobody wants to see me cry.
Especially live, Lauren.
What?
Especially live as well.
Exactly,
Obviously, that won't be ideal, would it?
Hide my crying face. It's a very ugly cry. No one wants to see that. But I think, people were really happy with where we finished. I mean, why wouldn't you be? We were still pushing for automatics right until the end. And I think that going into this new season, I think we're expecting to do about the same again. I mean, we'll talk later about our incomings and outgoings and the team changing around a little bit. But I think on the whole, we're expecting to do quite well again this season.
Yeah, you ended it pretty well as well, didn't you? I think, was it 7 of the last 8 games, I think?
Something like that.
Pretty impressive. We could have kind of gone straight into the kind of summer window that you've had, but obviously a big part of why he did so well last season isn't only just the players, but Dave Chandler. He signed a new contract, didn't he? A 3-year deal recently, keeping him at the club until 2028. How integral, somewhat of a daft question, of course, but how integral is it to this upcoming season? And to caveat the question a little bit, are you worried a little bit if other clubs come in for him that he could jump ship, given how high stock he is?
I'll be completely honest, I'm not worried at all. And I might be
Right.
naive in saying that. Obviously, yeah, he signed a new contract till 2028. But we've had him for a good while now, and he does get approached by other teams mid-season. He's been approached before. He's even gone and had talks with other teams before, but he's always come back. I think he's only talked to one team before, but that we know of.
Yeah, of course.
That doesn't always get shared.
No.
But I'm not worried at all. I think he's an absolutely integral part to Stockport and how it is at the moment. He's absolutely changed the way we play, the way the whole club feels. And we've had some of the new players coming in saying that he is one of the main reasons that they've decided to sign for us, because we've gone for some quite competitive players, and they were like, the gaffer is one of the main reasons that they've decided to come to Stockport. So, I mean, we do rely on him quite a lot, but I think that it's obviously a show of intent that he will at least be here for this season if he's signed a 3-year deal. And I'm honestly not worried at all about him leaving. Again, we'll come back to me in 3 months' time when he goes and leaves with someone else, and everyone will clip this she wasn't worried at all. But no, I'm confident that he's sticking around for a while.
Yeah, it's very much a project that you've got going on as well, isn't it, really? And I'm sure obviously he seems to be kind of like bought into that, doesn't he? Which is obviously gonna help breed the confidence as far as the fans are concerned. One of his bigger, or better, should I say, kind of elements to his management, if you want to say that, he's quite known well for his flexibility in terms of his adapting his systems to fit the players available. Do you see that a lot, or is that just kind of like an observation that's inaccurate?
No, I would say that that's pretty accurate, because it's. I mean, every club goes through injury problems, right? But the end of last season was horrendous for us. It was like everyone was getting an injury left, right, and centre, and we were still managing to pull out these wins from like absolutely nowhere, literally just pulled out of thin air, because he was able to adapt the team to whoever was fit or fit enough to play. So I think that's probably a very true statement, that he's quite flexible and can find something in a team. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the players that you had at your disposal last year, who may have gone elsewhere. I'm talking specifically about Olafe, the top goal scorer last season, with 20 goals. He's been sold to Charlton Athletic. Obviously a massive loss. Well, certainly from the outside looking in, given the goals that he got last season. Are you confident that his supposed replacement in Malik Mothersill would be able to replace the goals, of course, that you've lost in the big fella leaving?
I mean, I think it'll be hard to tell until the season starts, right? And how the system works with him, because as always, your system, like your striker or your main goal scorer, is completely dependent on everyone else giving them those balls to actually score.
Produce.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell at the beginning until we see a few games in. I think, how do I put this? So I might get some hate here. I wasn't Olafi's biggest fan at the club. I didn't despite the goals. I think he was a very key player for us, and I'm not going to discredit that at all. I think he was massive for us. But I think that Mothersill coming in, I think he will do just as good of a job. I think he will.
Yeah, and that was that. I mean, a little bit of a plug here to your podcast. For those who don't know, of course, Lauren is part of the Scarf Bergara War podcast, if I've pronounced that correctly.
Scarf Bergara War. I'm one of the new members, or newish members.
You're a newbie.
Since last season. But yeah, our preview show is now my baby. So
Okay, I guess that's why we're having this conversation now, I would suspect, Lauren. What's the consensus across the rest of the team then, in terms of like the players that have left, more specifically the guy that we're talking about now? Are they a similar opinion? Were they not a massive fan, or are most of them a bit gutted that he's left?
I would assume that they are a bit more gutted. I think I'm a little bit further out with not loving him. Again, I think he was absolutely vital to our season last season, and I'm not going to take that away from him at all. I feel like I've dug myself in a hole here already. He was a very important player to us, and his presence will be missed. But I think the other guys really liked him. But again,
Yeah,
I
I
would
think his presence leads in quite nicely to a question that David's asked. David is one of our channel members. David, thank you very much for your ongoing support. He's asked, he said, Cole, does Lauren concede that Stockport are reliant on being a physical team? What's your thoughts on that?
I wouldn't say we're reliant on it. I think it's something that we have in our back pocket, or maybe in our front pocket, if you want to say it's a bit more of our focus. But I think we play some really beautiful technical football, or we did last season. I think a lot of the skill was, actually skillful play, finding those pockets. We do have a physical team, like completely, but I don't think we're reliant on it. I think it's just something that we also have in our back pocket.
Yeah, you've gone on a bit of a mad kind of signing spree in the last 24 hours. Of course, you've signed a defender from Burnley in the last few hours. I can't quite, his name escapes me.
Owen Dodgson.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. But more
that was
specifically,
literally an hour ago.
Yeah, it was. I saw that earlier. Yeah, and also probably the one that's hot on people's lips is the lad from Stoke, of course, who were at Walsall last season. Is he exactly what you expected, or are you? I presume you're pretty happy with that signing, given the record that he had last season.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he had a fantastic season last season at Walsall, and I was listening to his interview, and he seemed really up for it. Really sort of willing to dig in. I mean, he's a young'un. He's only 19, so he'll be fresh eyes for the team, fresh legs for the team. I think people are, on the whole, really happy with the transfer season that we've had. I mean, not only did we lose Alafi, but I think the one that we're going to, or that most people have been discussing, is the fact we've lost Fraser Horsfall, who obviously was a massive, massive player for us. Has been around for ages, but you can't blame him for taking a 4-year deal at Blackpool. You know, you've got to give it to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think that was sort of the space that people were worried once we'd lost him. But I think, these new players coming in, everyone's really excited for them. They were, at least Nathan Lowe and Owen Dodgson, they were massively in demand this summer.
Yeah.
So I think everyone around the club is really happy that we've managed to sort of get our grasp on them. And hopefully they'll be able to, I mean, they talk with a lot of confidence and a lot of excitement for being here. I mean, they kind of have to, right? It's going out to the fans. You can't kind of be waffling and saying that you don't want it. But in general, I think everyone's really happy with them coming in, and I can't wait to see where they slot in, to be honest. I mean, how many have we had? We've had a ridiculously large signing thing. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think 7 people come in this summer, which is quite a lot.
Like, we're on 10, and I was actually kind of like leaning towards asking you the question: do you think you're going to take a little bit of time to gel? But I'm going to kind of hold that question back, because I think without realizing that we've got 10 new signings ourselves, which kind of leads me on. Sorry, go on.
Well, just as a very quick answer to that, no, I don't, because I think in general we have most of the core of our team came in at the start of last season.
Right. Yeah.
So we'll have the core of our team still there, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, not. I wouldn't put us into that category at all. We'll delve more into our kind of signings, I'm sure, on Sunday, when we've got a kind of a fuller team on the podcast. But we've signed, like I said, 10 players. But I do want to address something, actually, because I do quite a bit of podcasting stuff with Gab Sutton and also Nappers and a few other ones. And I did a video with Nappers recently where he asked me to kind of like review the seasons or pre-season leading up to the new season. And I said I was quite underwhelmed with our signings. I got to admit that was recorded like a week and a half ago, and we've since signed a couple of players. And I've had a few people on Twitter say, "Why were you underwhelmed?" type of thing.
Yeah,
but it was more aimed at our centre forward options that I was kind of underwhelmed about. So yeah, I mentioned it on Twitter earlier that I got to kind of give a bit of an explanation as to what I meant by that. But someone who does know quite a little bit about the EFL, both tactically and of course, in terms of personnel as well, is our resident stat man. The stat man is present on the previews this season. So for the first time this season, we're going to welcome Callum on his pre-recorded video. Give Lauren a little bit of a chance to go and get a drink of water, what she wants to do. And Callum will obviously delve into the preview against Stockport this weekend.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Get Stats On with the Stat Man. He is here to stay for the new season, don't you worry about that. But anyway, you have to deal with me for the preview and the review now. Unlucky, but that means double the stats, double the fun. So, this preview is of course sponsored by B2B Workwear. And if you're looking for any work clobber, give them a ring, give them a Google. But of course, other search engines are available. But yeah, check them out. Anyway, let's move on to Stockport, shall we? Big game. First game of the season. It's a big game. Don't you just love it? The footy is back. Thank the Lord, because I was bored. Tell you that for free. But anyway, let's have a little rundown of Stockport, shall we? I mean, I'm sure you know, but we'll have a quick rundown. They came third last season. Just 5 points behind second place. All to get beat on pens by Leyton Orient in the second leg of the playoff semi-final. Heartbreaking. No, apologies to any Stockport fans if you're watching, but that is quite funny. Yeah, they will want to go up this year, of course, and they are quite a good team. So this is a real 6-pointer to start off the season, and don't you just love it? You just love it, don't you? Proper footy is back. But anyway, proper footy is back, and proper stats are back. We've levelled up the stats this year, as you will see in just 1 second. So, Stockport are obviously very good at everything last season, to be completely honest. Going forward, they scored 1.6 goals per game, which is pretty mint. I'm sure you'll agree. But, and now here is this is unbelievable, this is. Out of their 72 goals they scored last season, only 14 were with their left foot. And I just love that stat, me. Like, I don't quite know how I found it, but I bloody love it. Yeah, and to be quite honest, this ain't going to get any better because they've only signed one attacker so far. Obviously, still more time to go. And there is actually time between this video and the preview, so that wouldn't be ideal if they do sign a left-footed attacker. But the only attacker they have signed is right-footed Malik Mothersill. I've definitely said that wrong. But you know what I mean. Left winger, Peterborough, cracking player. Yeah, and at only 21, he is going to get better, isn't he? Let's be fair. So he will be up for it. As will the rest of them, because this is a big game. Now, with only 14 left-footed goals, it may sound quite simple. But just put them on the left foot. Just jockey them down line if they're on the left side. Show them the left side. Because they apparently don't really fancy it. Interestingly, they also only scored 13 headed goals. So even less than the left footers. But this could be about to get a little bit better because they have brought in Corey O'Keefe, who is a right wing back, and he was at Barnsley last season. They brought him in on loan, and he blooming loves a cross, and with 61 successful ones in the league last year. So yeah, he is definitely a threat on the right hand side. You will have to watch for him, a right wing back. So going forward, they're pretty good. I'm sure you'll agree. Bar the left foot, obviously. But at the back, they're also pretty superb, to be completely honest. They conceded the third least goal. Wow, I can't speak. I'm a bit rusty. They conceded the third least amount of goals last season, just behind Wrexham and Birmingham. So the best in the league, near enough. And this is only going to get better because they brought in Joseph Aluwu from Peterborough. Again, a bit of a Peterboroughade. And, hang on, I'm going to butcher this name. Artu Hoskonen from Cracovia. And if that isn't something out of a Rocky film, I don't know what is. Other boxing movies are available. But I'm here to tell you, there is a bit of hope, because there is still a weakness to exploit, and that comes with any back three. But before I go into it, you could just ask Mason Burstow, because he actually scored against him the other day in a 1-0 win. So, just chuck him a message, say, yo pal, how on earth did you do that? And I'm sure he'll tell you. But if that doesn't work, here you are. In every back three, and Stockport do play a back three, there is an area to exploit, especially on the transition. Because when the wing backs push up, you leave 3 men stretched across quite a large area, 50 yards. So when the centre half, the wide centre half, has to deal with a winger running at them at full pace, it's not the easiest task in the world, because the winger will always have the momentum, because they're always running forwards, and the defender, if he knocks it past him, he's got to turn round. And whoever you are, it could be me running at you, it takes a while to turn round. It takes a lot longer than those to run in a straight line anyway. And that is some pretty basic analysis, but I think you get the point. So the main way you win the game is by, when you win the ball back, whether that's Sharman Lowe picking it up or one of the defenders, get it wide. You did it in pre-season. You did it with one pass, that Chris Cogley, out wide to Cozzy and Dubbery, I'm pretty sure. And he scored an absolute screamer. Same with Gale on the other side. Give them ball, let them work their magic. If it doesn't work, get them off. You've got options these days. And that is about it, to be honest. So yeah, I'll let you crack on with the rest of the preview. And as I say, apologies to the Stockport fans watching. Because I did give you a bit of a diss at the start. But you are a quality side. So enjoy the rest of the podcast. I'm sure I'll see you very soon. Goodbye.
Thank you as ever, Statman. It's always difficult, in it, really, first game of the season, to kind of gauge a little bit of an understanding of the kind of, team you're going to set out with, or who's going to start, who's going to play. But he's given us a bit of an insight into how you guys obviously played last season, Lauren. So it does give us a little bit of hope, because we don't want to kind of talk too much about the results from last season, of course.
New season, new start, new season.
New season, new start, indeed. If you've got any questions for Lauren, please feel free to drop them in the chat. Obviously, leading to this weekend's game, I'm sure she'll be keen to answer them. Keep them clean, because I've seen a few messages earlier on in the podcast, and I'm sure Lauren has as well. Don't particularly want to put her in that position. So keep them.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Well, yeah, but yeah, keep them clean. I'm sure she'll answer the questions regarding Stockport County. Absolutely. I've got a question for you, though. Injuries. You do have a few injuries, don't you, going into Sunday? Where do you stand on that?
Well, like I said, last season we had loads of injury issues, and we somehow managed to come through it. Literally, I can't remember. There is a list somewhere that I made, but I've no idea where it is right now. But of a lot of the guys we've just brought in are injured. So R2's already injured. And I think Edon is as well. But basically, a lot of the people that we brought in are already injured. So I'm not particularly pleased about that, but I'm sure that we'll be able to come back from that. We always do. We always have injuries, and we always have a thin squad. But at the end of the day, I think we have the depth in it, and especially with our new signings, that we'll probably be fine. I'm sure that they already have it in control. DC's got it. DC's always got it.
I'm sure. It's not it's a marathon, and it's not a sprint, as they say. So I'm sure it doesn't really matter too much. You've got 1 or 2 injuries at the start of the season. We're in a similar situation, to be honest with you. So I'm obviously the Wanderers fans are fully aware of our kind of injury situation to a couple of new players as well. So it is what it is, as long as they're not out for the whole season, I guess. Would you consider this is your best opportunity for you to get promoted since you got promoted from League Two? And if you do, who would you say your main rivals are for promotion?
Oh, good question. Well,
you don't have to say us, by the way. Although I'm sure you're probably thinking it. We are.
Oh no, it's definitely you guys. No, I think that sometimes I like to be a little bit superstitious, or I like patterns. Basically, every season we've lost in the playoffs and then won as champions. And then we lost in the playoffs and we went up as champions.
See where you're going with this.
So, given last season we lost in the playoffs, I'm seeing a pattern and I'm seeing that we will go up. I mean, it's not like I don't actually fully believe that, but
I think you do.
Part of me likes to believe that is the case.
Yeah.
So I do have a small bit of confidence that if our pattern remains, we will be going up as champions this season, which would be very nice because I love a little champions parade. It's one of my favorite things ever, and I've been lucky enough to have 3 of them since I've been following Stockport. So
well, I guess it's you're ton of time to tell you. You're going to have stiff competition, though, aren't you? So, who would you say kind of the main competitors are for them top spots?
Oh, good question. I would say, let's have a look. I've probably gone dark now, haven't I? Out of, I mean, Luton is probably quite up there. They're probably going to be quite strong, let's be honest. Other than that, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people have said that Huddersfield will be, but they didn't have I can't remember where they finished last season, actually.
Below us, I think it were like 9th or 10th, I think.
Yeah, they weren't that good. Yeah, they ended up 10th, right? And like they did have a shocker at the end. It's like the last 5 they lost, and they probably lost more than that. But I don't know, unless they've had a really good transfer over summer, which they might have done. I'll be completely honest.
Absolutely have. Yeah, I think that's the biggest
I haven't
thing.
had a look. So
yeah, a lot of people are obviously tipping Huddersfield and Luton for the top 2 spots, and then ourselves kind of following not too far behind them, which I think is probably about right. Really, they've invested quite a lot of money really in the starting 11, but they've got a pretty heavy squad, so there is a few question marks over that. And also they've got a new boss as well in charge, Lee Grant, who he was at Ipswich, I think, with Kieran McKenna. He's got a good kind of record, but it's his first job, and he was he was a goalkeeper in his previous life, probably a while ago. So I don't know whether or not that counts so much, but that question marks in my opinion over Huddersfield. But I think them two and us two, I think, are probably going to be in them top 2 conversations. I think.
Yeah. I like the confidence.
You have to be confident, especially before the start of the season, especially.
Well, you don't, at that point, no one can tell you that that you don't have any standing, because no one has any standing, right? If you're still seeing it halfway through when you're down in 18th, then it's a bit worse. But not when you're in 18th, just
I know what you're saying.
A mysterious team is in 18th.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Alex has asked you a question. Any chance of a drop off and last season being overachieving seasons?
I mean, again, decent question. I think I can't see us being below the playoffs. Again, DC has never had a team that's not finished in the playoffs as a manager. I think that's true. Or it's a fact that's very similar to that, but I think that is true. If I'm wrong, please don't tell me I'm wrong. Just let me live in my world of delusion. But I don't think that there will be a big drop off. I think we will miss some of the players that we had last season and the core that it was.
Yeah.
But I think that I don't think we'll have a big drop. I think we'll be playoffs again, minimum. Again, it might be overconfident, but.
No, I'm sure you're going to be pretty accurate at that, I would imagine, Lauren, to be fair. I think you guys will almost certainly finish in that top 6. We always like to keep these under 30 minutes, and I think we're on track to do so. But before you shoot, give us a prediction for Sunday.
Well, on our podcast at the Bergara War, I said that it would be 2-1 to us.
Right.
I basically said that it will be a well-fought game, good vibes because it's at Edgeley Park and it's a local derby.
Yeah.
And we're always up for it, right? There'll be a lot of Bolton get battered chants going around, things like that.
Yeah.
And then
you've done so well, Lauren, on this podcast before you dropped that in at the end. Then you've let yourself down in the last second.
If you listen to the other podcast, I was very, very nice, and I nearly avoided talking about the game altogether, but it did end up getting brought up, not by me. So I think that it'll be really good, a great day out, and I think that it'll be 2-1. Stockport will win it, but it will be a close and exciting game.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. I'd take a draw now. If I'm honest, I think if you can get a point away from home against a team that's probably going to finish in that top 6, then I think you'd be happy with that. So yeah, I'd take a draw. I'm going to go for a 1-1 tight encounter, and I'd be pretty happy with that. To be fair, as long as we beat you when you come to our place, which is the most important thing.
That'll be all right. We can take it.
Listen, Lauren, absolute pleasure to have you on. As I'm sure you'll agree, you've gone down pretty well, I think, in the chat in the most part, apart from that last little comment, I think.
Yeah, that's all right.
So thank you very much for coming on. Obviously, this has been the preview show, and it's been sponsored by B2B Workwear, our new sponsor for the preview show for the upcoming season. That is your reliable, trustworthy supplier of workwear, PPE, and janitorial products. So be sure to check them out. And thank you very much to everybody who's joined us tonight. I think 254 people in total. So thank you very much to all of you. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that jazz. I might have been a little bit rusty because it's the first one of the season. Controlling the buttons, it's not as easy as it looks, but it's been an absolute pleasure as always. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.